Hello everybody, Dark Skeleton here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a new Whispers of the Old Gods card called the Klaxxi Amber, which is a Druid card specifically meant for Cthulhu-style decks. So we take a look at it, and it's a 4-mana 4/5, which just says, oh, it's a Chillwind Yeti. But obviously, with the battle cry, it becomes more than just a Chillwind Yeti. If your Cthulhu has at least 10 attack as a battle cry, gain +5 health, which would make this a 4/10, and a 4/10 for 4 mana, as we know from Twilight Drake, is incredibly ridiculous. Now, it's even better than Twilight Drake, though, because a Twilight Drake can always be silenced down to a 1 HP 4/1 minion. This can only be silenced down to a 4/5, which is much less easy to remove for obvious reasons. Now, if you're playing a Cthulhu-style deck, I think that this card will be pretty easy to actually get out as a 10 health minion because it's really not that difficult to boost Cthulhu +4 attack. Let's take a look at some of the other cards they announced earlier. The Beckoner of Evil is the main one that comes to mind. Give your Cthulhu +2/+2 as a 2-drop. Not too hard to play. If you play 2 of those inside of a game, then Klaxxi Amber is now a 4/10. Or Twilight Elder. The turn this comes out, Cthulhu's going to get +1/+1. If it survives another turn, then Cthulhu's going to get a total of +2 from this guy. So if you play a combination of Beckoners of Evil and Twilight Elder, it's quite possible that you will be able to get Klaxxi Amber out as a 4/10, probably by about turn 5 or 6. Not likely on turn 4 because Twilight Elder turn 3 would mean that at the end of your turn, Cthulhu is 9 attack, and then at the end of your second turn, which is where you're playing your 4-drop, he becomes a 10/10, which means that you can't go Beckoner of Evil, Twilight Elder, Klaxxi Amber, which probably, well, it would be pretty crazy, but it wouldn't be super game-breaking. But just know that's not possible. But you could do Beckoner of Evil, Klaxxi Amber. We'll have to see if, well, I mean, I'm sure there will be, but we'll have to see the other cards that boost Cthulhu or interact with Cthulhu to really see how easy it would be to get a turn 4 4/10 Klaxxi Amber. But overall, just as pure stats for this card, assuming that Cthulhu's been boosted to that level, Klaxxi Amber becomes a quite insane minion for the mana cost. Otherwise, it's a Chillwind Yeti, which is still pretty solid, almost viable enough for Constructed. It's just overshadowed by cards like Piloted Shredder, or if you're playing Rogue, cards like Violet Teacher. So, should be a solid minion, especially if Cthulhu Druid is specifically a thing. I'm kind of excited about the idea, but one of the main things you got to keep in mind looking at this card is that because they're adding a minion, which plays into Cthulhu-style decks for a class-specific card, that means they're pretty much going to add them for the other classes too, kind of like they did for mechs and goblins versus gnomes. So each class may be getting their own Cthulhu deck card, so we'll have to keep an eye on that and see which class is actually going to play the best with Cthulhu. If you remember from the GVG mechs, there were some pretty bad ones, like the Anima Golem from Warlock, which just never saw play. 9 for 6 mana, but if it's the only minion on your side of the board at the end of a turn, it just dies for nothing. Yeah, so we'll have to see how things go. I'm kind of curious if they're going to add one class card for each class for each of the old gods, or if the other 3 old gods are going to play a little differently and won't be building up the same way as Cthulhu. We'll have to see. I mean, whether or not that's the case will determine a lot of how this expansion goes. Will it be Whispers of the Old Gods, pick 1 of 4 gods for your deck and then build around that, and that's just the expansion? Or will it be, hey, this is Cthulhu, the other old gods are really cool, but you don't necessarily need to build a whole deck around them? I'm kind of thinking that they want to have some kind of deck building for around each of the old gods, though. So we'll have to see, though. Shouldn't be too long before they announce one of the other old gods. But in any case, I've been Dark Skeleton, Klaxxi Amber. Really nice card, especially if you're playing that Cthulhu deck. I expect it to be played a lot, especially as the expansion just comes out. And I'll see you in my next video. Thank you guys for watching.